Please rise as we welcome His Eminence Archbishop of Dimitrios, escorted by Supreme President George E. Lucas. Please remain standing. We're going to do the national anthems and then the invocation.
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, now and forever, and unto the ages of ages. Amen. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Holy Master, bless.
Χριστέ ο Θεός ημών ευλόγησον την βρόσιν και την πόσιν των δούλων σου ότι Άγιος υπάντοτε νυν και αεί και εις τους αιώνας των αιώνων. Amen. Christ our God, bless the food and the drink of your servants, for you are holy now and forever and to the ages of ages. Amen.
Good evening, everybody. For those who don't know me, I'm Andrew Zacharias, past Supreme President of the Order of Ahepa, and I have the privilege of introducing various members of the Dais this evening. We have His Eminence Metropolitan Nathaniel of Chicago. We have honored guests. Yes, Gregory Pappas, Dr. Leonidas Platanias, and Philip Christopher here with us this evening. We also have the chairman of this great convention here in Chicago who deserves a round of applause, Themis Frangos, chairman of this convention. Themi, job well done. We have the Consul General Lukopoulos here. Welcome. We have the chairman of the Board of Trustees, past Supreme President Nicholas Caracosta. He's a true friend, a true Ahepan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the MC for this evening, Basil.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing this evening? I got to have a little bit more excitement. His Eminence is here. I want to hear some excitement in here. Your Grace, it's nice to see you as well. Thank you so much for being here. And Your Eminence, I am so happy to be part of this convention, the 97th Annual Ahepa Supreme Convention. First of all, I'd like to explain some of the things I've been going through. Number one, I love the rooms in this hotel. They're the most efficient rooms I've ever seen. One step out of the bed and I was in front of the toilet. My wife and I had more intimacy than I've ever had before. I want to thank everyone for coming here. It's been a joy. For the Ahepa brothers who have been here, I want to thank you so much. And for everyone who's made this such a wonderful time. I'm going to be a little frank with you. I will not be doing any wife jokes tonight because my wife is here. So I will be on my best behavior. I want to talk about a couple of things before we continue about what it means to be an Ahepan. I've seen more scholarships go to more people, and I'm talking the young, and I have been so happy and proud to see that these monies that we're doing are going, these are the seeds to make our organization grow. These are the seeds. Everything that the Greek Orthodox Church does for the young are the seeds for our faith to grow. And I love it. I just do the jokes. I do the sacramadas. Thank you very much for asking me about my yaya, who's 105 years old. Yes. And my papu, who's 106. Yes. They talk about the will. We don't know why. They are never going to die. We have tried everything to kill them. Nothing is working. And I asked them, why do you have this long life? And they told me, and I'll translate this in English, they don't want to give up their property. I have been in love with this organization. I have seen so many great things. I have traveled coast to coast here in the United States and in Canada. I have seen the brotherhood and the sisters all do wonderful. The young, please do me a favor. If you are a son or a daughter or a maid, not a maid, a daughter, I want the maids and the sons to stand up real quick. Just for a second, stand up. You are the reason why we exist. You are the reason why we are doing this. Pay it forward. Make sure that everything goes so we can have this for years and years to come. I want to thank you. Please sit down. I want to thank you all so much. These are the kids, all these people in here. These are the ones who went to Greek school. And look how happy we are. There are things that are important to us. And His Eminence knows what's important to us. And I want to read what he passed on to me. The winner of this year's Koulouraki contest is Nikki Kalazotzis. Let's have a big hand for her. Now, for those of you who are not Greek, the Pan-Hellenes that are in there, you'll notice that we Greeks have a bizarre taste. We love koulouraki. It's something that we eat after a ceremony. And I like eating this all the time. It's actually the small, little, wonderful bread. It's like, how can I say this? It's something that we eat when we have some type of a memorial service. What is it? What is it? One more time. Koliva. I love koliva. I'm ashamed to admit that I love koliva. And the only way to get koliva is someone's got to die. So what I do when I'm really jonesing for koliva, I go to the oldest person in the community, sneak behind him and go, boo. If I plan things correctly, 40 days later we'll have koliva. And now if I would please introduce Desi Dulakis from Walt Disney World for 2020. Desi, please come up.
Yasumiki. How are you? Look at all our friends are very happy to see you again, and they're going to see you next year. So anyway, we're not going to keep you. I'm just going to say what Mickey always says. We'll see you real soon.
When was the last time you saw a Pondiki wear an actual fustanella? I love the Cypriots, the Kyprei. I love you, and I'll tell you why. You speak Greek differently than anyone else in the world. Philip, I've been to Cyprus, and they start off, they want to entice you that they can speak Greek. And it's very, very nice. Because, kutika, isi sa kala. Kala, ne. What was that? And I said, Faristo para poli. Okay. I love all the Cypriots. I love all the Greeks from all over. We have the Karyotis in here tonight. Yes, that's right. Past Supreme President, right over there. I gotta tell you, man, this has been one of the greatest fun times I have had when you have a Supreme President who doesn't even sound Greek. There's only one man who I know, our past Supreme President, Carl Hollister. Carl, for years, I had no idea that your first name was Ikaros. And I just realized that you got the snot beat out of you since you were a kid for years. I'm always honored to come here and be part of this. Everybody wants me to do jokes and everyone wants me to tell these little stories. But it's not about me. It's about the Ahepa. It's about all the great things the Ahepa has done. It's about honoring those who have been looked on by the Ahepa as people who have made great achievements the past year and past years. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, what I like to do for the 2019 Academy Achievement in Hellenism to be introduced by past Supreme President, Mr. Ike Goulas. Please, let's have a warm hand for Ike.
Basil does about a 5-minute skit on me. I'm passionate about my Greek heritage and I want to share it with the world. That statement explains and defines our next honoree, Achievement in Hellenism Award. And really, if you've got an electronic footprint, if you've got a cell phone, a computer, then you know who he is, because everybody knows Greg Pappas. And Greg has soared to heights. He's a meteoric rise. Basically, I've known Greg maybe 10, 11, 12 years, and in that time, he's done so much for one man. He's got the Greek American Foundation that he oversees. He's done the Gabby Awards. He's done the Hellenic Initiative. He's produced films. He is an inspiration. And on top of that, I want to tell you that Greg just finished his 6-month round of chemo after battling colon cancer this year. And we're thank God that he's here with us tonight and that he is on the road to recovery, and we pray that you continue that road, because you've given so much to Hellenism, and I know you're going to give so much more. So with that, I want to introduce our next honoree, Mr. Greg Pappas.
Thank you, Ike. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Your Eminence, Archbishop Elpidophoros of America, Your Eminence, Metropolitan Nathaniel of Chicago, esteemed guests of the head table, members of the Ahepa family. It's a very special homecoming for me, and I couldn't be more honored to be back in the city that I called home for almost 20 years, let alone to stand before the members and the leadership of this exemplary organization. I arrived here from Pittsburgh when a Chicago politician named Maria Pappas, no relation to me, grabbed me by the ear and told me to get out of the Choryo. Yes, she called Pittsburgh a Choryo. She said, you belong in the big city, not in the Choryo. So I came here, and thanks to her and many other people, she remains to this day one of the biggest influences in my life. In the decades that I spent here, I was fortunate to build a successful business which took me to cities and countries throughout the world and work alongside some of the most important people on the planet. And while I'm grateful for the opportunities I was given, my professional career never defined me. And I'd venture to say that most of my friends in this room today not only don't know what I do, but never really knew what I did for a living all these years. My work was always that, work, a job. I'm much more grateful of what I was able to convert my professional success into, and to take the knowledge and expertise that I obtained and transform it into something good, into something that I hope has impacted the lives of people. A little more than 15 years ago, as Ike mentioned, I founded a small nonprofit organization called the Greek America Foundation, and I invited my friends and colleagues to get involved. I was inspired by others, some right here in Chicago. Eleni Bousis comes to mind, a woman who has dedicated herself to numerous philanthropic causes. a woman who taught me so much growing up in this city. I was also inspired by another woman I came to call my Chicago mother, Paula Faceas, who together with her family have also dedicated their lives to giving back. Finally, I was inspired by the lessons I learned over the past 20 years from my own spiritual father, Bishop Dimitrios of Makissos, who kept me connected to my Orthodox faith on various levels, especially when my relationship with the church was challenged. I wanted the Greek America Foundation to be different. I didn't want to replicate what was going on throughout our community. I wanted to complement it and to enhance it. Pericles said more than 2,500 years ago that what we leave behind isn't etched on the side of a building, but embedded in the hearts of people. Every program of the Greek America Foundation needed to impact people. We created a scholarship program that has sent dozens of students to Greece for a full semester of accredited study abroad in Athens over the past decade. Together with our partners at Libra Group and their founder, Mr. George Logothetis, who serves on my board of directors, we developed an internship program that to date has impacted hundreds of young people who've traveled the globe for life-changing internships. We also launched a charitable division called Project Hope for Greece, which to date has sent more than $1 million to support over a dozen humanitarian relief organizations in the beloved country of Greece. One example of many, when violent storms hit the island of Lesbos, destroying the boats of 2 Nobel Prize-nominated hero fishermen, the Greek America Foundation was there to replace their boats and allow them to regain their livelihoods. Much of my inspiration has come from the people I mentioned earlier, from Eleni, from Paula, and from so many other people I learned so much from. They all taught me that it feels good to do good. I also never forgot the 25th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew when I first heard it as a young teenager at Holy Trinity Church in Pittsburgh. I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. This is the very core of our existence, not only as secular Greeks who espouse the ideals of philanthropia, philoxenia, or philotimo, not only as Greek Orthodox Christians who should be living these ideals on a daily basis, but as human beings. 3 years ago, we launched our most important program that merges beautifully all of these ideals. We sent 10 young people on an all-expense-paid volunteer mission to Greece, where they spent the entire month of July volunteering their time and their talents in a network of shelters for orphaned young refugees, for unaccompanied minors. These kids are also receiving college credit thanks to our partners at the Hellenic American University in Athens. Today, right now, as I accept this tremendous honor from all of you, there are 16 young people on the island of Chios serving, supporting, feeding, and helping hundreds of unaccompanied minors who have arrived in Greece alone or who lost their parents on the journey to Europe. They are volunteering 16 young Greek North Americans offering humanity to one of the most vulnerable population groups in the world in one of the most decrepit places on the planet. For 1 month, these 16 young people will be there. I don't know about you, but I think that both Pericles and Jesus would be very proud of these kids who are giving tirelessly their time and their talents. And to them, I'd like to dedicate this award. Next year, and you're the first to hear this because I waited for this evening to make the public announcement, the Greek America Foundation will launch a new initiative, the Greek America Corps, an annual team of more than 100 young people from throughout the United States and Canada who will spend a month volunteering in Greece, supporting its people, and addressing a host of humanitarian relief efforts. I invite all of you to support the Greek America Corps. And in the spirit of unity, I hope that Ahepa will support 10 or 20 or more of these young people from your chapters throughout the country. After all, isn't this one of the reasons why Ahepa was founded and what we've learned so much from this organization about service? Your Eminences, I'm also going to ask for the support of the Church. What a better experience for these young people than to live Christ's command. Together and in the spirit of unity, we can create an army of good, a force that can truly impact the nation of Greece in its hour of need. And furthermore, by shaping a new generation of young people transformed by the experience of service, imagine the good it will do to our communities upon their return. These young people will become future parish council presidents, future philanthropists, future chapter presidents of the Ahepa. These young people will be future leaders of our nation. My dear friends of the American Hellenic Educational and Progressive Association, I don't need to tell you who you are. You know who you are. I have been watching the Ahepa from my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, throughout my 20 years in Chicago, and it has been such an honor to not only watch what you're doing today in Flint, Michigan, in Houston, at Ground Zero, supporting the efforts of our church, but also reading the history of this fine organization when groups of immigrants, illiterate immigrants, were marching in the White House in 1929, meeting with President Calvin Coolidge, being the first group of Greek Americans ever to join the White House. When you were there for the nation of Greece, raising hundreds of millions of dollars for the Greek war relief effort in the 1940s. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling to understand the multi-billion-dollar effort that this organization has had, the lives it has touched. You've all come a very long way. Since the Fez. This is vintage from 1926, by the way. You've also come a very long way since the time you used to give these bottles of Jim Beam at your 50th anniversary that have the symbol of the Order of Ahepa. This is from 1972. I leave you all with a tremendous amount of respect, with a tremendous amount of gratitude for what you've taught people like me, for the leadership you've played in this community, for the churches that you built in the 1920s, for the fraternal love and brotherhood and sisterhood that you established so that we today have a national Greek American community. You have provided an example for all of us, including myself, to emulate, and for that, I am grateful. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You got more guts than any of us. We wouldn't put the Fez on.
Let's come in the middle and put Nick on that side.
Now, for the 2019 Academy of Achievement in Medicine, to be introduced by the past Supreme President, Dr. John Grosmanidis.
It gives me a great pleasure, Your Eminences, members of the Supreme Lodge, Grand Lodges, members of the Dais, to introduce our next recipient. Our next recipient will be receiving the Academy of Achievement in Medicine. He is a 1983 graduate of the University of Patras Medical School, where he earned his medical degree. In 1989, he also graduated University of Patras with his PhD. He completed a residency at Hellenic Cancer Institute in 1984, and then went on to the State University of New York Downstate Medical Center, where he was in Brooklyn, New York from 1986 to 1989. I mentioned Brooklyn, New York because my better half is from Brooklyn, New York. So I have to always mention Brooklyn, New York. Completed a fellowship at the University of Chicago Hospitals in Hematology and Oncology. He is currently the director of the Robert H. Laurie Comprehensive Center of Northwest University, and he is where he directs their cancer research. He is professor of oncology and professor of medicine and biochemistry and molecular genetics. He is board certified in internal medicine and medical oncology, and he began his research career at the National Institute of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. Currently, his research focuses on cytokine signaling pathways in malignant cells. So there'll be a quiz later. We'll have the interleukin pathway. We'll draw out how the cytokines work, so you'll have that. But it gives me great pleasure to introduce our honoree, Dr. Leonidas Plantanias.
Good evening. It is a true honor to be here. I'm honored and grateful for this award. As you heard, I came here to pursue my medical work many years ago from Greece. And since then, I have been working all my life on cancer, either as a clinical doctor seeing patients with cancer or as a cancer researcher. And the problem of cancer is something that goes back thousands of years. If you go back in ancient times, the first description of cancer was 1600 years before Christ, where, in Egypt, they described cases of breast cancer. And then our own Hippocrates, later, came up with a definition of cancer as a disease from the Greek word karkinos, which means cancer. Since then, this disease has been devastating. There is nobody in this room who has not been affected by cancer, either directly or indirectly. And although we have had now over the last few years, many advances, and we see changes constantly, we see more people surviving, we see more people getting cured from cancer, it still remains a very, very big problem. There are about 18 million people diagnosed every year all over the world with cancer, and close to 10 million people who die from cancer every year. Think about it, 10 million people. Not the worst war on earth has ever done that, and that's every year. So the problem is huge, but for the first time in medical history, there may be some major hope that one day this disease can be eliminated, as it happened with other diseases in history. We have now technology that we did not have before. We have advances in other sciences that we in medicine try to take them and bring them to cancer research that give hope. But of course, and I have said that before, the problem is so big, and the investment that it takes to eliminate it is so huge that philanthropy plays a critical role, and if we're going to eliminate this as a disease, it will be a key component of that. And talking about this, I want to acknowledge and my friend here, Eleni Bousis, who created the Hippocratic Cancer Research Foundation here in Chicago. She had the vision and the persistence to create a foundation that will support cancer research to try to eliminate this altogether as a disease. And this is what, this type of effort, trying to bring together doctors, scientists, and philanthropists, is the way that this disease will be eliminated one day. We need everybody to work together as a team. Our patients go through epic battles. Getting the diagnosis of cancer is a very tough thing, and it takes a big fight to win. So I want to dedicate this award to all our patients who inspire us every day. And I want to thank once again Ahepa for this honor, and hopefully one day cancer will be eliminated as a disease. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the great things about actually being part of this wonderful organization is seeing the young folks, and I'm always been about the young and the responsibilities that they take to push forward not only the Ahepa, but our great faith. And at this time, I would like to have all past maids and sons presidents to please stand and to be acknowledged. Thank you so much. The 2019 Ahepa Military Medal of Honor to be introduced by past Supreme President Carl Hollister.
Good evening. Is everyone having a great time? Thank Basil Mercedes up top. Thank Elena down low. I don't know why they picked me to come up here tonight. In my military career, people followed me out of curiosity, not for leadership. We're here to honor somebody, General Elias Leonidaris, who could not be here today. He is the commanding general, the chief of staff for the National Guard of the Republic of Cyprus, because he has Turkey on his doorsteps, literally, something our Archbishop knows full well about. Our general, and I call him our general for a couple of reasons. One, those of us in the United States need to understand that there are 3 democracies in the Eastern Mediterranean: Greece, Cyprus, and Israel. Without Cyprus, there is no defense of the Eastern Mediterranean. So for all the Cypriots out there, I applaud you. To add on that, those of you know about, we have a little naval base called Suda Bay. Some of you might have heard of it. We now have a naval SEAL team stationed there permanently. That's how important. That is how important the Eastern Mediterranean is to the United States and to the free world. And we don't just pick our partners just because they're in a geographically advantageous location. We pick our partners because of the leaders that they are able to develop and that will work with us. General Elias, who I had the pleasure of serving with in 1993 in Bosnia, is a phenomenal leader that understands tactics and strategy to the nth potential. Many of you know that out of the 3 countries I mentioned, Greece, Cyprus, and Israel, being the only democracies in the Eastern Mediterranean, protecting the free world in that part of the world. We have an arms embargo on Cyprus. We don't have that in the other two countries. That is going to change. That's an applaud moment. General Leonidas is a phenomenal individual. He's one of 18 people that have won the United States Legion of Merit Medal. 18. Only 4 were foreigners. That's significant. He's received the Medal of Defense for Forces for Armenia, the Joint Commendation Medal for the General Staff of Italy, numerous medals from the Cypriot military, and too many accolades and awards from NATO to mention here. We spoke a little over a year ago, and we were sharing some war stories. He was, of course, teasing me that I retired as a major and that he was a general. And I said, well, that meant you could buy the drink, sir. He called me a slacker in some Cypriot term that it took a while to figure out what that meant. But I responded that, well, as a major, I was able to complete major accomplishments, and he was just a generalist in nature. But we both agreed, had it not been for the studying of the military tactics taught by John Galanis, neither of us would have been where we were. John, thank you for your service. As much as I would like to stay up here and talk, because it seems that this is more receptive than my table, I think we have to keep the program moving along, and I'm up here to receive the award for the general. But I think that's entirely inappropriate, because we have an individual in the audience, Thanos Petridis, who was a member of the Cypriot Special Forces, who should be up here receiving that award for the general. You're my brother in Ahepa, and you're my brother in arms. Thanos, come up here.
Remember, I do the jokes. And to all the recipients, congratulations. One more time for all of them, ladies and gentlemen, please. For the 2019 Socrates Award, Brother Michael Psados of Weirton, Ahepa Chapter 103, and a great personal friend of the Supreme President, is one of our Socrates winners. Michael has supported the Ahepa for many years, and we thank him for his grand benefactor support this year. Please, ladies and gentlemen, watch his acceptance video as he was unable to attend due to his work commitment in Los Angeles.
Brother Adams and Brother Archons of the Order of St. Andrew, I thank you for presenting me with the 21st Socratic Award. I accept this extraordinary honor with humility and respect and gratitude. I cannot comprehend that Ahepa has presented me with the honor bestowed to ecumenical patriarchs, presidents of the United States, and heads of state. I dedicate this prestigious award to my wife, to my family, to my parents, but most of all, to my grandparents, who even had Banquet and Hellenism. I dedicate this prestigious award to my grandparents and to that entire generation. I am proud to be in Ahepa, because Ahepa was originally created to defend those Hellenisms from discrimination. Ahepa was critical in helping that generation of Hellenisms to assimilate, when they were in need, Ahepa answered the call. I am proud to be in Ahepa because it was created to promote Hellenism and the Hellenic ideal. Hellenism is God's gift to human civilization and represents the best of humanity. Philosophia, philanthropia, philoxenia, Ahepa. Central to Hellenism is the privacy of the individual in society, of his free will, of his free choice, of his free expression, and of his freedom of action. These values form the foundation of our very republic. I am proud to be in Ahepa because of its diaconia, the Holy Orthodoxy, the Mother Church of Constantinople, and the Holy Archdiocese of America. Hellenism can only be viewed through the brilliant prism of Orthodoxy. From its creation, Ahepa has been a defender of the faith from our parishes to the world stage. I am proud to be in Ahepa because of its service to others in the world. Ahepa is the joyful giver as referred to in the gospel. It is a selfless organization, and the impact of Ahepa's philanthropia over decades in our Hellenic community is extraordinary. I am proud to be in Ahepa because it has given back so much to our country, a country that has fulfilled the dreams of the Hellenic diaspora. Ahepans are patriotic and understand that the United States is and always will be the land of opportunity, a shining city on the hill, and the beacon of hope to the world. Ahepans are proud to be Americans of Hellenic descent. We know where we are from. This grounds us. This provides us with confidence. This provides us with dignity. We have a sense of place, and that is powerful. The need, the imperative for Ahepa is greater today than in any other time in its history, and we all know why. Greece still remains mired in a gigantic economic crisis and is confronted with a hostile power that is questioning its territorial integrity. Cyprus remains illegally occupied for over 50 years and is a bleeding open wound, and the ecumenical patriarch is under assault not only by a hostile government, but also within the global Orthodox Church. Ahepa, and only Ahepa, with its size, its immense resources, its faith and commitment, is the critical organization that can leverage Washington and will the great American people to help our mother country and to help our mother church. I know Ahepa, and Ahepa to answer the call. My brothers, I thank you for this extraordinary honor that I accept with humility, with respect, and gratitude. Ευχαριστώ από την καρδιά μου με αγάπη και σεβασμό.
To introduce the 2019 Socrates Award winner, to be introduced by past Supreme President Nicholas Karakosta. Sorry, go ahead, go for it.
How about a round of applause for Basil, huh? I just told him I'm going to make a joke about you. He made fun of Cypriots. He can't even say Zachariadis. All those names that you list there? Come on, you got to go back to Greek school. Come on, bring it on. Your Eminences, Mr. President George Lucas, Madam President Demi Thomas, our Grand President of the Maids, our Supreme President of the Sons, honored guests of the Dais, ladies and gentlemen, Ahepa family and friends. It's my distinct He just got me back. It's my distinct honor and pleasure to be with all of you tonight and welcome you to our 97th convention here in Chicago. I hope you're all having a good time. This is a wonderful convention, and we are blessed to have our new Archbishop Elpidoforos present with us. Axios. actually a re-presentation because we presented this award in Cyprus back in May with President Anastasiadis in the presidential palace at an all-time gala that was hosted by our district in Cyprus. And I think after you hear my very brief remarks, you'll understand why this is so important. Just to give you some background, the Ahepa Socrates Award was first awarded in 1964. Many of the recipients include Presidents Johnson, Nixon, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, and Obama. In addition, we have Patriarch Dimitrios of blessed memory and Patriarch Bartholomew, currently the ecumenical patriarch in Constantinople. We have countless senators and congressmen, foreign heads of state like Prime Minister Karamelis and past Cypriot President Papadopoulos. It is Ahepa's highest award. We have 97 years of history, and yet we have only awarded 22 of these awards. Tonight, we are awarding 23, Mr. Michael Psaros, who you just heard his wonderful presentation, and we are awarding number 24 to Mr. Philip Christopher. In just a few days, we will be, unfortunately, looking at the black anniversary, 45 years later, of the tragic Turkish invasion of Cyprus. The current situation is status quo, but for 4 to 5 years, our honoree, the next Socratic Award winner, has been battling for freedom and justice for Cyprus. As just a young man, he became a community activist and organized the Pan-Cyprian Association of America in New York City and mobilized countless congressmen and senators to speak up on behalf of the freedom of Cyprus, the return of the refugees, the Turkish troops exiting Cyprus, and to have basic social justice. Cyprus is the only country that has a capital that is still divided. It has been 45 years of hard work. He spent countless millions of dollars of his own money to educate our Congress, our presidents, about this tragic injustice. He continues to this day, and he will never rest until someday he could return to his hometown of Gerinia. That's why it was so important that back in May, we presented this award to him on behalf of Ahepa, the oldest and greatest organization, in front of President Anastasiadis and the Cypriot people. They needed to know that they really have a champion, a community activist working on their behalf in these great United States. And I know from my heart that he will never rest. And he will continue this fight because it always goes on until we see a free and justice for Cyprus. I present to you this evening in front of this convention body, who is really the soul of the Ahepa, our 2019 award winner, number 24, only number 24 in our 97 years of history, Mr. Philip Christopher. Put the picture up.
The angel of Cyprus. Thank you.
It's a humbling experience. Your Eminence, welcome to the United States, and you brought new hope for us, and we will work very closely with you. Your Eminence, Nathaniel from Chicago, District Governor of Chicago. First of all, let me thank my wife who, it was her birthday, and for the past 45 years, we've been missing her birthday, so she came with me here to Chicago for all that she has put up with me over the past 45 years. I want to thank Basil Mosaidis for all his hard work, and let me first talk about our chairman, Nicholas Karakostas. Nikos was born in Gerinia, Cyprus. He was 3 years old when he came here. And through his life, he has been committed to the church and to Ahepa. He has done a wonderful job as past president and now as your chairman, and also as president of St. Nicholas of Flushing, the greatest and biggest Greek Orthodox church, maybe in the United States. So Nikos, thank you so much for your kind words. I had the pleasure of going to Cyprus with my good friend George Lucas, a humble man who has done such an extraordinary job during this past year. And George, thank you so much for everything that you have done, along with all the other past presidents that are here today. And Basil recognized you so well with all your names. He pronounced all your names correctly. So I wanted to thank all the past presidents that are here that have worked so hard, not only for Hellenism and Greece, but for Cyprus as well. I wanted to thank many of the people that are in this room, because this award is not only for me, it exemplifies all the people that are here that have worked for the Cyprus issue for so many years, including the newly elected president, George Oriadis, and some of my good friends that have been elected, like Savas Tsivikos and Andreas Zachariadis. And of course, I saw Zino Christodoulou and Panos Stavrianidis and Iliad Sekeridis, and I can go on and name every one of you because you have worked so hard, including Paul Magropoulos and so many other Ahepans that are here. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It's a humbling experience. Ahepa is a great organization, 97 years history. And within those 97 years, we have 45 years of Turkish occupation of Cyprus. I want to take you back to July 20th, 1974. And imagine going back home next week, July 20th, when you go back to your homes, whether it's California, Ohio, Georgia, your home is taken away from you. Your property is taken away from you. You leave your house never to return. And some Turkish general or Turkish settler lives in that house for the past 45 years. And a few years later, fake titles are issued. And your home is sold to a British citizen, an Italian citizen, and you can never go back to your home. This is what we have. And we, as the greatest organization, this great organization of Ahepa, we have a double obligation because we are descendants of democracy, and we live in the greatest democracy of the world, the United States of America. We do what we do because we are proud American citizens. Don't let anyone tell you you are the Greek lobby. We're not the Greek lobby. We are the American lobby, fighting for American ideals, democratic principles, and values. We are told that Turkey is the reliable ally of the United States. And we have been waiting to see this reliable ally. The reliable ally that keeps the school of hockey closed. The reliable ally that punishes every day and victimizes our patriarchy. The reliable ally that has hundreds of thousands of people in prison. That violates the human rights of the Kurds. The reliable ally that during World War I fought against us. And World War II, they stayed neutral, but they helped the Nazis. The reliable ally that did not allow our troops to cross during Desert Storm. We were told that geographically and geopolitically, it was a very important country because of communism. But communism has fallen. The Soviet Union has fallen. The Berlin Wall has come down. Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia have become free. Then we were told, but remember, they are a secular Muslim country. and it's very important, a democratic, secular Muslim country. But guess what? They're the people that aided ISIS. They are the people that are exporting Islamic fundamentalism. And their first conquest is the occupied area of Cyprus. They have destroyed 500 of our churches. The names of cities and towns have been changed. Gerinia is known as Girne, and every town has a new name. Our cemeteries in Cyprus have been destroyed. Extremist fundamentalists have been imported, 500,000 of them. And that, they can tell you, Fanos Pitiris and Pericles, who are here from Cyprus, they will tell you the stories. And I want to thank them, by the way, and all the Europeans for all the work that they do. Since 1974, the world has watched the greatest injustice of the world. We have watched an invasion that has killed 5,000 people. We still have 1,200 missing, and 200,000 people that have been victimized. Ethnic cleansing has taken place in the occupied area of Cyprus. But we have something happening, and Ahepa is the organization that can help us. Erdogan, believe it or not, is an ally. With all the rhetoric that he's given us, with all the anti-Semitism and anti-Americanism, the fact that he's going to buy the S-400 missiles, it gives us an opportunity. Somebody said before, of the three democratic countries, Cyprus, Greece, and Israel, we have formed a partnership with the United States and these three countries. And it is our time now to help us, and Ahepa must help, to pass the Eastern Mediterranean Partnership. This is a partnership that's going to bring the United States, Cyprus, and Greece together. So my friends, George Lucas talks about the grassroots, the boots out there. I want to ask you, why can't we get to the senator in Texas, Senator Cruz, who's so important? Why can't we not get to Mitch McConnell, the majority leader? Why can we not have good relations with Lindsey Graham in South Carolina? Why can we not deliver 5,000 votes in Florida that can decide the next presidential election? You know, there's 5 states: Florida, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. If Ahepa can deliver 5,000 votes in each one of those states, you will become the most powerful organization in the United States of America. Ahepa is no different than the American Jewish Committee. The American Jewish Committee works very hard for Israel. Ahepa works very hard for Hellenism, works very hard for Greece, for the Hellenic values, and for Cyprus. I accept this award on behalf of all of you. And more important, I accept this award on behalf of the 200,000 refugees. On behalf of people like Andy Athens, George Livanos, George Paraskevaidis, all those people that have died without seeing their dream come to pass. I accept this award on behalf of my parents, who died with the dream of returning to Gerinia. My father used to say, I refuse to die until I go to Gerinia. Unfortunately, he passed away. But I am committed to helping any chapter that wants. Any chapter that wants. I will be there to help you to organize, to make sure that we get every congressman and every senator from every state to speak out on behalf of Cyprus, Greece, Hellenism, and the Eastern Mediterranean Partnership. My friends, it's up to us. George Lucas talked about it, Carl Hollister spoke about it, and many of you know. We are only 17 million Hellenes all over the world. 10 of them are in Greece and the rest all over. We are here in the United States, the greatest power of Hellenism and the greatest power of Greece. I know Ahepa is not a political lobbying group. I'm not asking you to become a political lobbying group. I'm asking you to use your power for Hellenism to bring freedom to Cyprus and protect Hellenism in Greece. So my friends, to all of you who have been working so hard, I know you're disappointed. I know you're frustrated. But Cyprus, the Republic of Cyprus, is still standing tall. Greece is still a democratic nation fighting. And we as Hellenes in the United States must continue the struggle. My friends, the work goes on, the hope endures, and the dream of returning to Gerinia will never die. God bless all of you. Thank you so much for all your work.
Good evening, Your Eminence, Archbishop Elpidoforos, His Eminence Metropolitan Nathaniel, Supreme President George, Supreme President Greg, Grand President Tatiana, honored guests, brothers and sisters. The Ahepa and the Archdiocese of North America were both founded in the United States 97 years ago. These two entities are like two lungs we use to breathe. They have supported and protected the Greek-American diaspora as it has matured and grown in America. While our ancestors were drawn to this country, fleeing destitution and repression, they brought their traditions and their church to plant in fertile soil of liberty and the freedom in America. It is remarkable how our communities have spread across America and in Canada. The first church community was established in New Orleans by cotton merchants in the early 19th century. That church and that community still flourish today. I had the opportunity to visit our community in Anchorage, Alaska. It traces its roots to the early Russian colonization of Alaska in the late 18th century. In cities and towns across our land, our immigrant ancestors collected their pennies, their nickels, and their quarters to build churches. The daughters of Penelope probably would not have started in any other country. The growth of the diaspora in America raised new challenges that traditions in Greece did not address. Specifically, the challenges represented to women in a democratic society to nurture their families, support their communities, and to be empowered of the benefits from the freedoms available. Moreover, both the Ahepa and the daughters represented and continue to represent all strata of the community. We are not an organization for the elite. We are an organization for the community. Our daughters have long been in progress, leaning on the shoulders of our predecessors. Sisters stand, our past grand presidents. All of you, just give us a stand quick. We stand on your shoulders and those that came before you. Trying to fulfill their vision of Hellenic organization, serving women in their communities. Our organization is unique, enabling women to start at the age of 14 and continue forever. An organization where your entire family can work together, each in their own organizations, making a difference in other people's lives, working side by side. Your Eminence, the children were told they shouldn't speak very long, the children, our sons and maids, but I want to give you a little bit of what they have been doing this year. The sons and maids have shown great growth this year. They've each increased their chapters, their population, and the funds. The Maids of Athena alone have raised $28,000 this year. And the sons came close. I don't have your exact numbers, and I'm sorry, but the sons aren't too far behind. They gave to things like the Homolilo to Pidiu,
they gave to Pharaoh, they've given to St. Basil's. They never stop giving, Your Eminence. They are wonderful, and they are ours. Our goal this year was to empower women to reach new heights and to encourage a sisterhood where women grow, learn, share, have fun, and make a difference for themselves and their communities. We work to build successes involving women of all generations. We continue to expand the organization and support our members to work on strengthening their chapters and districts. We continued our excellence by evolving to meet the needs of our members. This year, we held leadership conferences around the country, Europe, and Greece throughout the year that offered a forum for our members to share their experiences, insights, learn skills that are useful with our families, and to work and help ourselves. Our diaspora experiences in America are being shared by our sisters in the diaspora in Europe and with our communities in Greece and in Cyprus. We have worked closely with the Maids of Athena this year to continue to build a bridge into the 21st century. They have worked alongside us and have even taken part in our leadership conferences. We've traveled around the world opening new chapters and fortifying existing chapters. This year, we have opened or reactivated and reinvigorated 8 chapters, combined the last 2 years, 13 new chapters. Our membership this year is up 9%. We initiated or reinstated 702 members. An acceleration of growth from prior years. Our philanthropy is strong and growing. We are an organization whose members are thriving. There are many things that we do every day that we do not realize the impact we have on those around us. Every year, the Ahepa and the Daughters of Penelope give thousands of dollars in scholarships. We advocate for women's issues. Along with our brother Ahepans, we lobby with our legislators to support our causes, both domestically and abroad. By sponsoring Capitol Hill Day, we make sure our voices are heard. We support causes that arise around the world. For example, during last year's National Convention, when Greece had the devastating fires, together as brothers and sisters, we pledged to do whatever we could to help those victims. Alongside our brotherhood and sisterhood of Europe, we stood up to support the people of Greece, not just in money, but in any way necessary. The Daughters of Penelope donated $15,000 to the Bodhisakis Foundation in Greece to help the victims of the fire. Again this year, the Daughters of Penelope have donated $10,000 to Meals on Wheels, which provides more than a meal to our homebound seniors, nourishing both body and mind through the delivery of nutritious food and the deli whale visit. If someone asked me to choose my favorite part of this year, I wouldn't know what to choose. Would it be working with the best Grand Lodge any sister could ever have? Sisters, please stand. You should all be so blessed to work with women like our Grand Lodge. Would it be working with the most amazing director, executive director, Elena, please stand. Would it be working with our Supreme President, Grand President, Students President, please stand again. I'm so blessed, George. Would it be my friendships made, the chapters visited, the events attended, the sisters initiated, the lobbying on Capitol Hill? I'm a history teacher, you know, I just love walking those halls. Meeting congressmen and women, representing the Daughters of Penelope in Stuttgart, Germany, in Greece, in Cyprus, shooting a cannon off the bow of the battleship USS New Jersey. Yes, some of us are special. Thank you, Brother George. Celebrating the many successes of our sisters and the entire Ahepa family. being honored to attend the enthronement of His Eminence Archbishop Elpidophorus. We succeed by serving our members and helping each other and our communities. We are successful because we are a family. The daughters, the Ahepans, the maids, and the sons. Please remember, every sister bring a sister because every member matters. Thank you all for everything.
She's right. It is the easiest Greek name I had all night tonight. And Nick, by the way, I dropped out of Greek school. And thank you for bringing that memory back. Great privilege, and it's an honor to actually introduce to you our keynote speaker. He is the new Greek Orthodox Archbishop of America. Ladies and gentlemen, His Eminence Archbishop Elpidophorus.
Σεβασμιότατε Μητροπολίτα Σικάγου, κύριε Ναθαναήλ, beloved members of the Ahepa family, Supreme Presidents, current and the past, greetings to all of you in the grace of God and in His boundless love that has been revealed to us by our risen Lord. It is in this love that you, and faithful across our holy archdiocese, have welcomed me as Archbishop of America, a sacred calling and a sacred responsibility to God and to the Church. Filled with His love and His strength, and inspired by His divine presence and guidance for the work that is before us, I have entered this blessed pastorate of the Holy Archdiocese of America, so that together, you and me, all of us together, we may offer a compassionate and powerful witness of our faith throughout this great and beautiful land, and support the witness of orthodoxy around the world. It is also in the love of God that I convey to you today the greetings and blessings of His All Holiness, our Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew. You, my brothers and sisters, are dearly loved by Him, as your support for the Church and the Ecumenical Patriarchate, your long-standing witness of philanthropy, your commitment to Hellenic ideas, and your service to those in need exemplify the exhortation of the Apostle Paul, who says, "Whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is gracious, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about those things." Your witness, as the Ahepa family affirms, that you not only think about these things, but you do these things. καρδιά μου είναι γεμάτη με χαρά. Είναι γεμάτη με χαρά καθώς σας μιλάω από αυτήν την υπέροχη εκδήλωση που κάνετε εδώ στο επίσημο γεύμα του υπάτου ετησίου συνεδρίου των Αχέπα. Αυτή η σημερινή είναι μια ευλογημένη ευκαιρία για έκφραση αδελφικού πνεύματος με τους δεσμούς οι οποίοι μας συνδέουν, όλους μας. Οι δεσμοί αυτοί είναι η πίστη, η κοινή μας ελληνική κληρονομιά, η κοινή μας διακονία. Είναι επιπλέον όμως και μία ευκαιρία να εκφράσουμε τις μεγάλες δυνατότητες που έχουμε για το μέλλον. The witness that you offer as the Ahepa family is a witness of love. Love for your fellow human beings, love for one another, and love for God. It is a love that comes from the unlimited love that God has shown us. The Holy Apostle John writes, "Who love, we love, because He first loved us," our Lord Jesus Christ. It is the love that surpasses all knowledge. It is the fruit of the Spirit, of the Holy Spirit, the fruit that bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things, like St. Paul says in his first epistle to the Corinthians. As a people of faith, whose lives have been transformed by the power of love, we know that we can never be separated from the source of this love. For I'm sure that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor things present, nor things to come, nor power, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus. In your service as members of Ahepa family and in our service to God as His church, we know that this love is not limited by distance. This is why I can convey you, and you can receive the love and blessings of our spiritual father, His All Holiness Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew. We share this love with our brothers, with our sisters throughout this nation and around the world. It is this love that unites us in Christ. It is the love that guides and inspires us to address the needs of our youth, the elderly, the orphan and widow, and all who need physical and spiritual healing. It is the love, it is this love that leads us in gratitude to offer all that we are and all that we have as a witness of our faith and for the glory of God. Επιπλέον, γνωρίζουμε ότι αυτή η αγάπη δεν μπορεί να περιοριστεί από καμία δύναμη που είναι αντίθετη στο θέλημα του Θεού. Συγκεντρωθήκαμε απόψε για το επίσημο αυτό γεύμα σε μια χρονική περίοδο που γιορτάζουμε την ανεξιρτησία του μεγάλου αυτού έθνους των Ηνωμένων Πολιτειών της Αμερικής. Η επέτειος αυτή της 4ης Ιουλίου είναι ένας εορτασμός ελευθερίας και ο εορτασμός αυτός τιμά την αξία της ιδέας αυτής, η οποία παρέχει το κοινωνικό και πολιτικό εκείνο περιβάλλον όπου οι άνθρωποι μπορούν να προοδεύσουν και να αναπτύξουν τις δυνατότητες που τους χάρισε ο Θεός ο δημιουργός τους. Ως κληρονόμοι του ευγενούς ελληνικού πολιτισμού, ο οποίος τιμά την ελευθερία, και ως τέκνα των Ελλήνων προγόνων μας, οι οποίοι θυσιάστηκαν για την ανεξαρτησία τους, γνωρίζουμε την αξία της ελευθερίας. Γνωρίζουμε ότι η ελευθερία είναι αδιάσπαρτα συνδεδεμένη με την αγάπη προς τον συνάνθρωπο και με την αγάπη προς τον Θεό. Ομολογούμε ότι κληθήκαμε στην ελευθερία, ώστε με αγάπη να μπορούμε να υπηρετούμε ο ένας τον άλλον. Και επειδή μας απελευθέρωσε ο Χριστός, καλούμαστε να χρησιμοποιήσουμε την ελευθερία αυτή, όπως πράτετε και εσείς τόσο αξιοθαύμαστα στην οικογένεια της Αχέπα, ώστε να μπορούν και άλλοι να γεύονται αυτή την αγάπη. Within a few years, our both Holy Archdiocese of America and the Ahepa family will celebrate centennial anniversaries in this nation of freedom and hope. These anniversary events are certainly times of remembrance. We will reflect on a century of faith and service. We will mark great accomplishments, honor the memory of so many who offered so much, and give thanks to God for His many blessings. But we will also affirm that all that has been achieved has been through His love, God's love, and through the love we share. We will recognize that we are the benefactors of a legacy of love that has impacted innumerable lives. As we prepare for these commemorations, we share great joy in knowing that the Holy Archdiocese of America and the Ahepa family have worked together and shared this legacy. Over the past century, the members of the Ahepa have supported the sacred ministry of the Church through the establishment and growth of our parishes, through the support and leadership offered in our national programs and initiatives, and through the unwavering support for our beloved Mother Church, our ecumenical patriarchate. The Church has continued to recognize in love and gratitude the vital work of Ahepa, work in education, in philanthropy, in civic responsibility, and in so many other areas of service, as well as in advancing Hellenic ideals which inspire and enliven our common humanity and enhance our witness of our Orthodox faith. My hope and prayer is that this relationship, Ahepa and our Archdiocese, will not only continue in love that we share and that it will bear much fruit, but that it will also become even stronger as we prepare and commit for the work that is before us. Together, we can and will accomplish tremendous things that will reveal our love for God and our love for each other. Through our shared efforts in ministry and service, many more will experience God's transforming love. Together, we will honor the legacy of love that has been given to us by our forebears, and we will bring honor and glory to God for the great and marvelous works that we will see. Η ευλογία του Θεού ας είναι επάνω σας και επάνω στα παιδιά σας για τα έργα που επιτελεί η Αχέπα και η αγαπητή οικογένεια της Αχέπα. Thank you very much.
And now, for a moment, a presentation will be made by the Supreme President, George Lucas.
Your Eminence, in behalf of the entire Ahepa family, we would like to present you with this Panagia. Please wear it in good health always. May God be with you.
And for one more thing, Your Eminence, the chairman of the St. Nicholas Ahepa Fundraising Committee, past Supreme President Nicholas Caracosta.
Thank you, Your Eminence. In addition to this wonderful gift that our Supreme President has presented you, we thought it befitting this evening to, because of your arrival, to conclude the Ahepa's $1 million pledge on behalf of the St. Nicholas Church, Shrine Church at Ground Zero, and present you with this final check and wishing you well in this new journey as you try to complete this most historic, wonderful, and very, very important project. Axios.
Not only for the Panagia, but for this check. You know why? Because St. Nicholas Church is extremely important for the ideals of Hellenism and Orthodoxy in this country. This church is on a sacred site, sacred for the American nation. So many people sacrificed their lives at this place as victims of terrorism and religious fundamentalism. And America paid a very heavy price for this. And we have a church there which is unfinished. We need to complete this church. It's a matter of dignity and pride for Hellenism. And as your new Archbishop, I'm very proud having Ahepa by my side. Because Ahepa has always been the pillar, the first to contribute, the first to help. And now that we begin the new effort to rebuild this St. Nicholas Church and Shrine, you again, the Ahepans, are first to contribute. Thank you.
In addition, for those chapters, districts, members who still would like to donate or who have pledged, please don't forget, this is such an important project, as you've heard from His Eminence. Please support him. Please support our Greek Orthodoxy in the United States. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may, for the response, our Supreme President and very good friend, George Lucas.
It was our goal to wrap this up early so that we may have some kefi together. I asked my wife, how should I begin, or what should I make sure that I do? She said, whatever you do, don't use your iPhone. Because I always look like a bumbling idiot with it, even though I try to look young and cool with this electronic device. With 11 hours to go, at the 11th hour, I shall be victorious, I promise, kids. Lexi, Max. I must thank our sponsors. They have made this convention a success for all of us. Michael Psaros, Mohegan Gaming, led by a young Greek-American CEO, and all of the rest. I think I'm aware of a secret today that nobody else is aware of. I think we have a birthday boy among us. Where is he? Could it be the guy that screwed up just now? Could it be you, Vasily? Happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Vasily. Happy birthday to you. Grand President Demi Thomas, Supreme President Greg of the Sons, Grand President Ariana of the Maids, Archbishop Elpidoforos, Elpidophoros. Finally, Metropolitan Nathaniel, honored guests at the dais, Brother Archons, Ahepa family and friends. When I was in Cyprus, I was given the honor of speaking at such a magnanimous affair. And I began by saying it was the tale of two cities, recalling the splendor of Cyprus, and then the second invasion while we were there, the good and the bad. That's how I feel tonight about the conclusion of my elected office as Supreme President. On the one hand, the emotions, the splendor of representing such a fine, outstanding organization, and on the other, the notion of its end, which is not the worst of times, but certainly it's the most nostalgic of times for me. One other thing they did in Cyprus that I found unique, they speak first and then eat, which I was alarmed. It alarmed me because here, everybody's asleep from eating meat usually, and I don't have to worry about what I say because they're brain dead usually, right? I am besieged with some emotions, gratitude, yet relief. I was confronted by a brother in the hallway this week saying, "Ipatas Prodo, I have some ideas." And I said, "Hold that thought. George Koriatis, where are you?" My Ahepa journey began with multiple influences, beginning with my grandfather, as many of you know. Past Supreme President from 1959. I happened to be born on the very day he was elected Supreme President out in Long Beach, California at the Hotel Ambassador. And I recall hotel rooms with my papu and his cronies playing poker, and when I'd wake up in the middle of the night, they'd be out caucusing, I'd be left alone in a hotel room at a tender age. After that, it was a feeling I've somehow wanted to keep that memory of him alive, actually. So many of you recalled stories of my grandfather. The all-out brawl at the Waldorf Astoria in the 60s, where he took the microphone and started singing the Greek national anthem to calm everybody down, and it worked. Or they'd tell me stories of how, or just somebody would come up to me and recall his name when they heard mine and start crying right there in front of me. His memory lives. That was part of my goal, my motivation in seeking this position. But there was another influence that was significant in my life. That was my other grandfather. George Lucas was a lawyer I followed his footsteps. The other worked 45 years in a zinc foundry, till it went bankrupt. And then he commuted down to Wheeling, West Virginia, to work in a steel mill, railroads in the steel mills for the next 10 years. And he lived with us till he was 100. And every day when I'd leave my home, he'd say, make sure you do my stavro, no matter what. Then I went away to pharmacy school, and every time I went, he said, you got a girlfriend? No, Papa, good. School first, no girls. Went away to law school. I'd come home. You got a girlfriend? No, good. School first. Papu, I graduated, I'm a lawyer. You got a girlfriend? No, what's wrong with you? Only at home could I learn things, as His Eminence said at the table to me tonight, philotimo is only learned at home, and I had the best of teachers. The other motivation was my All Saints Greek Orthodox Church that produced Michael Psaros as well. We learned that everybody there was Theo and Thea. We went to Greek school and we graduated. My daughter's godmother, my kubara, graduated with me. I have proof tonight. Where's yours? We learned honor and respect. Hellenism was at work in my life. You combine those three influences with what I call my myriad of Ahepa-isms. My mom was district governor of the great Buckeye district and dragged us from convention to convention, whether it was district or national. It's where I first remember looking twice at girls at Hollywood at the Diplomat Hotel. And as His Eminence introduced his mother at his enthronement, I would like to do the same. Mom, my great influence. Would you please stand? Stand. I salute you. My sister Penny was district governor of the Maids in the great Buckeye district, and now a federal judge in Cleveland. Penny, would you please stand? My influences. She beat me at footsie fights every time. And of course, my sister Kathy and her husband David, who've been a great source for us of assistance and guidance. And our Kubati from Weirton, West Virginia, the daughters of the late, great Supreme Governor, past Supreme Governor Mike Generakis, whom I'm sure many of you remember, Leah and Maria Generakis. Thank you for being here to support us tonight. The other Ahepaism was when I was graduating pharmacy school, and yes, I lived in a trailer in the mountains of West Virginia. And the phone rang, and many of you know this story, but I must bear repeating. It was the Honorable John M. Manos calling, senior district judge, and Basil's nodding his head down here, a fellow Clevelander, intimidating soul, God rest his soul. He happened to be my grandfather Lucas's supreme counselor at the convention when he was elected. He remembered me. He heard I wanted to go law school, and he called me. Never met the man. And wanted to have me come to Cleveland, where he would become my mentor. I just finished 30-some years in Cleveland with my own law practice and my family because of him. I even had to have him clear my wife so that I could marry her. That's the kind of relationship he and my grandfather had. That was the basis of the Invite One program, for everybody to go out and invite one person to join Ahepa or the daughters that could make a difference in your life, your children's life, your grandparents' life, or your grandchildren's life. Then came the call from Sam Kiriazis, whose family is here, but I don't see them right now, to join the George E. Lucas chapter. And you can see this theme in Cleveland, Ohio. Then came the fateful call from past Supreme President Frank Manuels. Would you please stand, Frank? Where are you? The best. And he says, George, we've been giving you time, raising your family, starting your law practice, but we need a Supreme Counselor. Really? Is there an election, Frank? No, there's an agreement slate, an agreed upon slate between the parties. Frank, if there's an election, I don't have time for that stuff. It's at Fontainebleau, George. Oh, okay. Sure enough, there was an election. It was George Horiatis, right, versus George Lucas. Year 1 and 2, the heavyweight fight of the century of Ahepa. That's when I met George Horiatis and so many other great leaders in this organization. And that's when it really lit the fire for me to want to be a leader in this organization also. Had I known there was an election, Frank, I probably never would have been standing here. But Otheos had other ideas, and here I stand. And I think after about 1/2 million, the 1/2 million Ahepans who took the oath to be in this order, there's only been 46 Supreme Presidents in the 97 years, and 1/2 million initiates. Two thoughts come to mind. I'm so blessed to be the first grandfather-grandson duo in Ahepa history, and I can't wait for the next, and I hope it's sooner, or father-son, Themis. The second, is that figure of 500,000. And I'm reminded of what this winner of the Socratic Award, which is huge, this brother of mine, Philip Christopher, this lion, whom I call the guardian angel of Cyprus, what he said about flexing our political muscle. If you apply the old rule of 6 degrees of separation to these 1/2 million and our 25,000 in our family, we've got significant political clout. How do you think we got to where we are? And it's time we started to flex that clout once again. My experience as a young man traveling was hugely significant in mixing these Ahepa-isms with the influences in my life that led me here. Everywhere I went, if I met a Greek or a Philhellene, I'd be enthralled. Where are you from? Where are your parents from? And I'd feel this special bond or this special pull. And I have no idea from whence it came, but I knew it was strong. I recognized it, someplace deep inside. Then it dawned on me that's how Ahepa was formed. I thought of the Greeks that emigrated from their home, immigrated into the U.S. I thought about them and how they must have missed home, and how they were being abused, and they needed rights, collective rights, and how they found each other and built churches. And it's no coincidence, a theos again, that both the Greek Orthodox Church of America and Ahepa formed in 1922 at the same time, and they took fire. And they found something that reminded them of home, just like it reminded me when I met people from Greece. Something deep inside clicked and that bond worked. Ahepa was formed, as we know, to help Greek immigrants become American citizens. And today we help the world realize the ancient ideals of Greece, ancient Greece, Hellenism namely, Philotimo. There's something about our history, heritage, culture that binds us together. I believe it's encoded in our genes. From ancient Greece, I believe it calls out to us, to one another. And I keep coming back to the words Hellenism, Philotimo, and the others. Our parents, our grandparents, they saved everything so that the next generation would have a little bit more. And that started with education. Education and more education. And in one generation, we blew them away and became leaders of our communities across the board in this great country of ours. And we were American citizens. The Ahepa family of old no longer yearns for that bonding, that organization with our millennials coming through. It's not the same thing that's needed today that was needed so badly by the immigrants upon whose shoulders we stand today. It's shifted. It's shifted to service. The ideals we talked about, philanthropy, family, honor, volunteerism, community service. But I notice in my travels this year that the Greek immigrants to, say, Germany or Austria or England perhaps haven't been there as long as the immigrants here or in Australia. And maybe that yearning is still as great and they're on the front end as we were a while ago, protecting each other, filling that need to be together. It's getting heavy. Let me drop out and talk about the year we had. We had a great year, you know? We were struck with the Mati fires, though, in the middle of our convention last year. 102 lives lost. And we were on our way to the TIFF in Thessaloniki, the 83rd annual Thessaloniki International Fair. And it wasn't me that came up with boots on the ground. It was our Ahepa brother in Athens, Vasili Petkidis, who said, George, why don't we demonstrate our chain of command and how things work? Because we're the only Greek-American organization that has chapters globally, and we have over 30 in Greece. Today, that's 40. And our brothers in Greece went and performed an investigation of those fires that was so thorough that they had everything set up for us 2 weeks later when we went and had meetings with everybody from government officials, hospital officials, fire officials, police, most of all the victims. And the only takeaway that I'm going to share with you, well, there's two. All we had to do was go, and they were so moved to tears by the fact we thought so much of them that we came to visit, that they were crying when we walked into those hospital rooms and in those politicians' offices. The fact that we cared enough to be there moved them to their hearts and very souls. And the other thing is, I'm proud to announce that we are donating a burn sub-unit to Evangelismos Hospital that treated every one of the burn victims there without a burn unit. And so that's underway, and our Zenon Christodoulou, chairman of that committee, will oversee it with George Koriatis as I wander off into the sunset. So I'm proud, and will our brothers from Greece please stand so that I may applaud you, and thank you for your efforts. Thank you. You heard about the only 3 democracies in the Eastern Mediterranean. Well, we went to Jerusalem and we helped sponsor a symposium made up of Greece, Cyprus, and Israel. And we were warmly received, and we are now recognized as the bridge to the United States as they attempt to become partners or assist in that partnership. And let me just say our membership was up at year end, and let me take you to our spring excursion. We briefly talked about Cyprus, but let me drop in on Constantinople, because I called ahead. This is the yearly trip that the president takes, and people come along, and we go to various countries like Cyprus, and Turkey, and Greece. I called ahead, and I wanted to go to Halki, because I'd been there in my first year as an executive officer, as Supreme Counselor, and I remembered meeting this tall, handsome, articulate, young gentleman at this place that I could only get to by horse and buggy, and a steamship. Well, not a steamship, I exaggerate. Across the Sea of Marmaras. And that's because I yearned to see His Eminence Elpidophoros at the seminary of Halki in the monastery. But he was away on business. And I tucked that away in my mind. I thought, why? I don't know. Maybe there's a reason, a good reason. And here he is with us today. So I don't know if that was a coincidence or not, but I find myself grateful you weren't there and that you're here today, Your Eminence. Thank you. Well, Theos brought him to us not only to the Greek Orthodox Church of America, but again for the first time in public, addressing his flock here at an Ahepa event. The first time he met any of his flock was immediately after his enthronement at the Fanari when Ahepa was visiting, and we were the first to greet him. So it's something that I will always remember, and I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to be the leader of that of the organization that came to you not once but twice. Thank you again. And our support for the clergy lady in Cleveland, my hometown next year, Oti Chriazis. I told you we would help you with St. Nicholas. 3 generations, my father, my son, me, laid a wreath at Arlington National Cemetery for the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier because Ahepa believes and cares for veterans. A statistic that wasn't mentioned was that in today's terms, the bonds that Ahepa sold for World War II funded, in today's economic terms analysis, 10% of the entire cost to America of World War II. And that's patriotism. And Ahepa laid over 600 wreaths at Arlington to the soldiers of Greek American descent and others. And I know how much time I spent trying to find 5 of them, so I know it's an all-day affair. So thank you, the chapters from Washington, for doing that every year, along with the other chapters are a great grassroots network, our boots on the ground. There are so many wonderful Greek American organizations. You heard our brother Pappas talk about them this evening. I think he should be our next spokesperson. That was beautiful. There are many of them. And Michael Psaros hosted a dinner for us in New York as soon as I became president, bringing us all together, Oli Mazi. But nobody has the length and breadth that Ahepa has, globally. Nobody with 15,000 members spread across, willing to do what the Supreme President asks by a single edict. And I'm so glad that we have that among the other organizations to work together, Oli Mazi, to effectuate Hellenism, political rights, fighting religious oppression. I recognized our brothers from Greece. You met Brother Fanos Petiris, our Cypriot flavor. We have brothers from Belgium here, correct? Please stand, brothers. This is the global flavor of Ahepa. Thank you for joining us from the transatlantic. Congratulations to our maids and sons. You make us very proud, and you are our future. Pay it forward, as they say, and you hear it all the time. Thank you, Mr. Executive Director, whom I no longer see on the Memphis balcony up there. I don't know where he went. Thank you, of course, Brother Past Supreme President Frank Manos, for that call that afternoon that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. And to Brother Jim Schofield, who gave me a shot to move on up and eventually claim this post. They talked about George Lucas always talking about the grassroots organization because we are privileged to represent these chapters. This is never going to happen again. When you go home, think about how this took place and whether you think something like this can happen again, where everybody gathers in support of one another globally, in Canada, the US, Europe, Greece, Cyprus. I doubt that we'll ever see it again. Past Supreme President John Galanis, my other takeaway other than the grassroots is something you taught me. The respect the office of the Supreme President receives wherever he goes is truly humbling, where people will come up to me and literally cry or tell me something that Ahepa did for their family. It's a true honor to be representing all of you. Last, my family, Sandra, my wife. Thank you for putting up with me, and my Ahepa, and my children, Max and Lexi. Please stand, Lexi. I know you're shy, but you gotta do it tonight. I am proud, as Michael Psaros said, to have served the largest, I should say, service organization representing the Greek American diaspora globally. My Ahepa, your Ahepa, our Ahepa. Thank you for being here, and good night, everybody.
Now it's okay.
Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, now and forever, and unto the ages of ages. Amen. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Holy Master, bless.
Christ our God, bless the remnants of this table and multiply them in our Holy Mother Church of Constantinople, in our Archdiocese, in the homes of your servants, and in the whole world. For you are holy, now and forever, and to the ages of ages. Amen. Καληνύχτα.